Where did you get the idea that money is evil or that it's hard to make? Who told you that you have to work yourself like a dog to build wealth? What if I told you that almost everything that you believe about money, wealth, and the abundant life is a lie? On this episode, we're going to uncover the 6 lies that are keeping you living a life of scarcity. Your thought life is the battleground of abundance, my friends. Let me say that again. Your thought life, what goes on right here, is the battleground for abundance. The stories you tell yourself about money determine whether you'll have it or not. Let me say that again. The stories you tell yourself about money determine whether you're going to have money or not. Today, I'm exposing 5 dangerous money lies and giving you the exact mindset shifts to replace them. These aren't just theories. I've used these exact principles to build a $100 million business. Let's start with the deepest lie of all. Lie number 1. Money is real. This right here, this is not real. And it stinks. Let me prove it to you. Imagine you've got $50,000 in the bank. You open up your app on your phone and the balance shows $50,000. So you go to the bank and you try to withdraw it. You go up to the bank teller, you say, hey, I'd like my $50,000. The bank teller looks at you like you're crazy because they don't have the cash. Did you know that local banks, they carry less than $25,000 in cash? You could deposit $50,000 today and they couldn't give it back to you tomorrow. What you call money is just a promise. It's a shared belief system. Remember 2008, the financial crisis? The entire financial system nearly collapsed overnight. Trillions of dollars vanished. Not because physical money disappeared. It wasn't like the money was burned. The trust evaporated. If money were real, if this money were real, it couldn't just vanish. But it did. We're all playing a game with made-up rules. And if you don't understand the game, you'll be the one losing when the rules change. This is why Tony Robbins named his money book, Money, Master the Game. Step 1 to uprooting this lie from your heart is to know it's a game. It's the Truman Show. It's the Matrix. You can't win the game if you don't know you're playing one. So what is real? If money isn't real, what is real? Well, value is real. As Tony Robbins says, money is nothing more than a reflection of your creativity, your capacity to focus, and your ability to add value and receive value back. Freedom is also real. You offer value to the world and you get freedom in return. Energy is real. Joseph Campbell called money congealed energy that when released, releases life's possibilities. Are you getting that? Even Jesus warned us about the illusion of money in the Sermon on the Mount. He said, to store up treasures in heaven, not on earth. Why? Because earthly treasures, including money, decay. They get stolen, and they ultimately disappoint. Money is a flop, my friends. It's not what you think it is. Jesus wasn't saying money is evil. He was saying it's temporary, an illusion, the wrong goal. If you make it your goal, it will ruin your life. You see that? Let me say it another way. If you make an illusion your goal, your life will flop. The abundant life isn't about getting rich with stacks of decaying currency. It's about aligning yourself with what's eternal, providing real value, serving the world, and watching abundance flow naturally as a result. It's going to flow from you, and it's going to flow through you, and it's going to flow back to you. I love this imagery in Proverbs. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. That's from Proverbs 25:3. It flies away like an eagle. In a moment, it's going to sprout wings and fly away. Are you wasting your life working for the money that will just fly away? I wish this was real. It would make things simpler, but it's not. But there is a currency that never sprouts wings. It never inflates away, and it can't be stolen. If you make eternal money your goal, Jesus says he'll provide all you need for this life as well. Like the birds of the air, they neither toil nor spin. He says, don't worry about what you're going to eat or the clothes you're going to wear. Seek first the kingdom, and all the rest will be given to you. That's the game of money. See this for what it is. A lie that is keeping you on a treadmill going nowhere. You're in the gym on a treadmill. You think you're running, but you're going nowhere. Once you realize this isn't what you're seeking, you can have as much of it as you need for your calling. God will provide the real thing. Which brings us to the second foundational lie that's keeping you broke. Lie number 2, money is limited. Money is scarce. Think about a family Thanksgiving. Dinner's over. Aunt Sue brings out pumpkin pie, everyone's favorite. Grandpa takes the first slice, and then Uncle Buck grabs a piece, and suddenly panic sets in because people realize that we're going to run out of pumpkin pie. The mood shifts instantly. Cousin Harry silently judges Larry for taking too big of a piece. Grandma, who's been, busy serving in the kitchen, gets completely shut out. Uncle Bob sits there feeling smugly superior because he sacrificed and he took pecan pie instead. Shame, judgment, guilt. Everyone loses. This is exactly how people think about money. They treat it like a fixed pie. If someone gets a bigger slice, you get less. If the pie is gone, it's gone. This scarcity mindset creates fear, judgment, and selfish competition. But here's the truth. Money doesn't work like pie at all. Remember what we just learned. The thing that you call money isn't even real. If it were, the pie analogy would be correct. But true money regenerates, it moves, it flows, it multiplies when it's at work. It comes to you when you offer value to the world. The more value you give the world, the more value flows back to you. It regenerates. Elon Musk said it this way: you get paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of the problems you solve. You see that? You solve big problems for the world, and the world pays you in big dollars back. Or as Zig Ziglar said, you can have everything in life that you want if you will just help other people get what they want. Let me flip this pie analogy really quick. Let's say this time you eat a piece of peach pie. You digest it. The waste that you create fertilizes the fruit tree in your yard. That tree grows more peaches than it would have. Now, you can eat more pie, share more pies, and sell the extra pies, producing both pies and cash. That's how regenerative abundance works. Money is not a fixed pie. It's a seed. Plant it, tend it, share it, and it multiplies. This reminds me of when I built my e-commerce business. Every dollar I made became seed for the next phase of growth. The more value I created, the more seeds I had to plant. The cycle fed itself. Most people think that making money is taking, but real money is made by creating. When you build something valuable, solve a problem, or meet a need, you're not stealing pie, you're baking a new pie, a pie that never existed. That's how the economy grows. That's how wealth is created, and that's how you step into abundance. So reject the lie that money is scarce. If you believe it's scarce, it will be. Trust me. If you believe in abundance, you'll realize that wealth is infinite. You making money doesn't take money from anyone else. That's why we say making money. You're making it. You're creating it. You're actually creating money that didn't exist before. You providing new value to the world, value that didn't exist before, increases the supply of money in the system. Jesus taught this idea often. The kingdom of God is like a mustard seed. When the seed is planted, it creates an enormous plant where the birds can make their home. The birds move around the seed and they create more plants over here and over here and over here. And on and on and on it goes. We are created in God's image as a creator. Be a maker, not a taker. When you get yourself unstuck from this lie, the lie that money is real, the lie that money is scarce, the next hurdle to get over is lie number 3. Follow your passion. Basketball was my first love. I don't know why exactly, just a sport that lit me up. In 6th grade, I got to be honest, I kind of dominated. I could anticipate the other team's passes. I got a ton of steals. I figured out I could drive to the bucket if I just got around my defender, then it was open. My passion connected with something that I was naturally good at. But then reality set in. 7th grade. Guys started getting taller. And I didn't so much. 8th grade, offenses got more organized, so steals became more rare. And then when I got to high school, this trend continued. And I couldn't adapt. I still had all the passion. I was up early shooting hundreds of shots, working on my ball skills, but I couldn't jump any higher, and I certainly couldn't grow any taller. I hit my ceiling. So I faced a crossroads. Chase a mediocre basketball career at some tiny college, or pivot to something where my love connected to my ability to do it. Have you found yourself clinging to a passion that's actually a dead end for you? Here's the brutal truth. Most of our passions, they aren't even ours. They're downloaded from our environment. Why was I passionate about basketball? Probably because I grew up during the Magic Bird era, watching NBA games with my friends. It was the golden age of NBA basketball. If I had grown up on the East Coast, maybe I'd have been passionate about lacrosse instead. Why does every Gen Z suddenly discover their passion for being a YouTuber? You're passionate about video games, golf, making movies? Root out the lie that tells you to follow your passion. It's a trap. Instead, follow your calling. Passion is often about what makes us look good. Calling is something you would do if you were recognized for it or not. When you pursue a calling, you're going to have the patience to develop the skill that the world will pay you for. See, I made the mistake of following what I thought was my passion. I got an MFA in acting. I didn't care about acting. In fact, I had a review in my second year of grad school where the entire team of professors sat me down and said, "You don't seem to love acting itself." They were right. But I forged on anyway, and it took me many years to realize that I was an entrepreneur. Acting was just me as the product. Once I was able to build a company around a product that wasn't me, that's when things started to soar. What's funny is that most of you won't listen to this advice. This idea that we should follow our passions is ingrained in our society today. Love what you do, and you'll never work a day in your life, right? You've heard that. As a dad, I think about this a lot. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to tell my kids, don't follow your passion? The truth is that God has a specific calling for your time and your finances. Look inward. The Spirit of God inside of you will guide you to where the world's needs meet your gifting. This is the sweet spot that helps you navigate away from superficial passions that are given to you from culture, to place a deep knowing where you can do the most good. And once you're in that place, you'll face the next lie. Lie number 4, hard work equals success. Work hard and you'll succeed. We've all heard it. I tell my kids this. You probably tell yours. Modern parenting wisdom even suggests praising effort over results. We want kids who value trying and growing over just winning. The Bible seems to agree. Lazy people are soon poor. Hard workers get rich. That's Proverbs 10:4. And our culture reinforces it constantly. Margaret Thatcher said, "I don't know anyone who has got to the top without hard work." That is the recipe. Mark Cuban, it's not about money or connections. It's the willingness to outwork and outlearn everyone. So wait a second. Why am I calling hard work a lie? Because the lie is the equation. Hard work equals success. If that were true, construction workers would be millionaires. Janitors would be flying private jets. The truth, millions of hardworking people never achieve financial freedom. They work themselves to exhaustion, but remain stuck in the same financial position year after year. Have you heard the story about Ronald Reed? Ronald lived in Vermont, worked at a gas station, cleaned floors at JCPenney, made a very modest living by anyone's standards. But when he passed away in 2014, people were shocked to discover that he had amassed $8 million, all of which he left to charity. How in the world did a janitor build more wealth than most doctors and lawyers? It wasn't hard work. It was hard work paired with 3 simple principles: frugality, living below his means; 2, a simple, wise investment plan, which was, in his case, dividend stocks; and patience to stick with it for decades. That's it. No secret formula, no 80-hour work weeks, just consistency and wisdom over time. Imagine finding a side hustle that you enjoy that pays you, let's say, $1,000 per month. If you invested that money consistently with the same principles as Ronald, you'd build similar wealth over time. Hard work is good, but it doesn't work by itself. As Greg McKeown writes in Essentialism, working hard is important, but more effort does not necessarily yield more results. Less, but better does. Less, but better, my friends. Overcome the lie about hard work that keeps you stuck. Get off the effort treadmill today. If you're working hard every day and getting nowhere, maybe you need to leave the gym. We have all been there. It's a rite of passage. But today is the day for you to admit to yourself that you're running an unwinnable race. Look around. Breathe the fresh air. Hard work without direction and purpose is called exhaustion. Okay, let's take a quick break to tell you about our sponsor, Butter. Butter is my commercial video production company specializing in story-driven 15 and 30-second commercials for connected TV, Facebook ads, and YouTube pre-roll. I know many of you need video content, and it's brutal out there to find a company to help you. A company that cares, a company that has a track record that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. Butter has been in the game for over a decade and knows just what you need to drive results from your video marketing. Not only am I the founder of the company, I've used the company's services to drive millions of revenue for my brands. We would love to hop on a call with you and discuss your video needs. Go to www.butter.la to learn more. And now back to the show. Lie number 5. It takes money to make money. Whew, that's a good one. I used to believe this was true until my own life proved it wrong. This adage dates back to the 1800s, actually, and it might be the most dangerous lie that keeps you from the abundant life that you desire. Are you guilty of thinking that you need money before you can make money? When I started my e-commerce company about 10 years ago, I had zero capital. If I had believed I needed money to start, I would never have started. And I certainly wouldn't have scaled to 100 million in revenue. So what did I do instead? I started offering a service I knew people needed, which was at the time making videos. I took the small profits from making videos to test out a new idea, e-commerce. I bought my first product samples and then my first 1,000 units. It didn't take capital, it took time, creativity, and value creation. I carried this philosophy through my entire journey, from 0 to 100 million. The startup world pushes this dangerous narrative. Movies glorify kids raising millions, building apps, and becoming billionaires overnight. We love these stories. But what about the far more common reality? The teams who raised millions, spent it all chasing the next billion-dollar idea and lost it all. Did you know that 90% of venture-backed startups fail? No, you didn't, because no one makes movies about those startups. They don't end up becoming household names. Let's change the adage from it takes money to make money to it takes money to lose money. Check out this evidence. Mark Zuckerberg built version 1 of Facebook before taking investment. Sarah Blakely built Spanx into a $1 billion company without funding. I built my company profitably from day one, and you can do the same. You have a skill, you can offer your network, which they will pay for. This is the seed. Plant it, water it, and see what happens. Prove that you know how to build a fire before you go buy all the wood. My friends, most ideas flop. Most companies fail. Don't get caught in the situation where you borrowed money for a project you should have grown from the ground up. Build your wealth through massive value creation, hard work, and wisdom, rather than trying to skip the line by using other people's money. Other people's money comes with baggage. That's why the Bible warns us, the borrower is slave to the lender. Or maybe you're buying the lie that you need money to get started, so you never start. The world is full of poor people staying poor because of this chicken or egg dynamic. They think they need money to make money. They think they need a handout from the government. They think they need a tree when all they need is a seed. I was just reading the story of in John 21 after the resurrection. The disciples were fishing all night, exhausted, discouraged. They had caught nothing. I imagine them thinking to themselves, if only we had a better boat, or better nets, or more help. And then Jesus shows up to the shore. He doesn't give them better equipment. He just says, throw your net on the other side. We often think we need more resources, more gear, more connections. But what we really need is to listen and do it. Obedience unlocks abundance, not capital. But maybe this isn't the lie you struggle with. Maybe you're one of those, like me, who gets trapped thinking about the final lie we'll unpack today. Lie number 6, money is complicated. And the subheadline is, the rich are smarter than me. You know, I know this lie isn't true, but I still succumb to its power. We resent the idea that riches go to the smart people because we know then that we'll never be able to attain it. Well, I think it's about time for us dumb people to be free from this lie. It took me many years in the desert, many years of struggle to realize that my stupidity was an advantage. This is what I discovered. High IQ doesn't correlate to financial wealth. In fact, high IQ people often outsmart themselves. They overthink. They never take action, or they complicate things until their momentum dies. It was right there in plain sight, but I missed it. Wealth is attracted to clarity and simplicity. High IQ people, they really struggled to keep it simple. All of us regular folk, we need to remember the acronym KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Try this for me. Think about, for a second, the smartest, like 1 or 2 people from your high school, like the valedictorian, the math genius. You have them in mind? Okay, now be honest. Are they wildly happy and wealthy today? No, they aren't, right? Smart does not equal wealthy or happy or content. So what does equal wealth? If it's not smarts, you know what it is? It's self-control and emotional intelligence. A fascinating New Zealand study tracked 1,000 kids for 52 years. Can you believe that? And found that IQ wasn't the predictor of success. It was self-control. In other words, delayed gratification, and EQ. And unlike IQ, these skills can be learned. When building my e-commerce company, my low horsepower intellect was actually an advantage. I was just dumb enough to ignore shiny objects, just dumb enough to keep trying simple things, just dumb enough to trust my gut. Alex Hormozy calls this avoiding the woman in the red dress syndrome. Are you guilty of believing you're not smart enough? Are you guilty of believing this lie that you're not smart enough? That there are secrets that others know that you'll never discover? I'm here today to tell you to embrace your stupidity. It's a gift. It helps you to do the things that actually create wealth. Like be diligent, self-controlled, patient, and steadfast. Keep it simple, stupid. This reminds me of this classic Hollywood quote from William Goldman, the screenwriter. He said, "Nobody knows anything. Not one person in all of Hollywood knows for a certainty what's going to work. Every time out, it's a guess." This explains why Hollywood makes so many terrible TV shows and movies. Nobody knows what the heck they're doing. It's so freeing to realize that, right? I've only truly embraced this as I have gotten older. And I'm passing this on to you. Embrace your simplicity, embrace your stupidity, follow your gut, not your brain. No one knows what's going to go viral. No one knows which investment will soar or crash. No one knows what will happen to Bitcoin. Nobody knows anything. The Bible says that God uses the foolish people of the world to shame the wise. The sooner that you realize it's not about being smart, the sooner you realize that no one else has the secret formula, the sooner that you can take action on the thing that may or may not work anyway. So if there is a secret, that's it. Take your shot. As Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And those are the 6 foundational lies about money that are keeping you broke. Are you guilty of believing that money is real? That money is scarce? That success comes from following your passion? That hard work equals wealth? Or that money is complicated? These lies are part of a great spiritual spiritual and cultural battle. They're hidden agreements that we must root out of our lives. Let that truth settle in. Meditate on it. It will set you free. In the next episode, we're going to go even deeper into the sneakiest lies told by well-meaning pastors and churches. Lies like God wants you to be poor and money is evil and rich people are too. And we'll get into the ultimate lie, the money lie that rules all the others. Don't miss it. If this brought you any value, I'd be honored if you shared this episode with someone who might benefit. We are a small little channel. We're just getting started, and you sharing these episodes is the best way for us to get the word out. And if you're interested in exploring my top 5 books for financial abundance, click up here. My friends, seek first his kingdom, and all the rest will be given. That's the pod. And I really did rip this $20 bill. I'm going to try to put it back together and see if the bank will give me a new one.